littlest camel, Knelt. Once upon a long, long time ago, in a far-off country, there lived a very little camel who was woolly in spots and curious all over. And the littlest camel's curiosity concerned kings. This small one, above all else, wanted to see a king. Cappy and Mogo, the bigger and the biggest camel, boasted often and loudly of carrying gold and precious jewels to kings' palaces. But the littlest camel carried only everyday things to everyday people, and he longed, oh so very much, to carry wondrous gifts to a king. Cappy and Mogo had that very night returned from seeing a king, none other than King Herod. But Mogo was very tired and also very cross. So the littlest camel just munched and listened while Mogo complained that the hay was tasteless and the stable was very uncomfortable after the delicious food they had been given in the grand palace stables they had visited. Mogo almost bit the littlest camel's head off when he questioned him. But the littlest camel understood and was very sorry that Cappy and Mogo were so tired. But he also thought it rather silly for a great big camel to be so grouchy. Just then, Balthazar, their master, came into the stable with two other wise men, Melchior and Gaspar. Their servants began loading great treasures on the bigger and biggest camels. They were to start at once on a long journey to Bethlehem with gifts for a very great king. And then, mind you, when the three wise men were ready to leave, Cappy and Mogo were too tired even to go see another king. But the littlest camel, he was not tired. If they would ask him, he would go. And would you believe it? They did ask him to go. Master Balthazar said that because the big camels were so tired, he would have to take the littlest camel too, and that they would have to leave immediately while they could still see the star that would guide them. My gracious goodness. Just think how wonderful it would be. Soon he would be treated as royalty, and he could eat sweet, sweet hay and sleep on the soft, soft straw in the palace stables. And he could not help thinking that maybe a great king, robed in silks and satins, with a golden crown upon his head, might pass real close to him. There would be lovely, soft music everywhere. He knew, for he had heard Cappy and Mogo talking about the kings and their palaces. At long last, everything was ready. The gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, and precious jewels were loaded on his willing little woolly back, and they started out through the gate of the city on their journey to far-off Bethlehem. He heard them say again as they started forth that a star of all things would guide them. He liked stars, but he thought it very foolish that a star could guide anyone anywhere, much less to a king. Just then he saw the star. A brighter and lovelier star than the littlest camel had ever beheld, and it shone ahead, leading the way. Around them the air was so soft and warm, and the littlest camel heard a light rustling of wings, as if many, many birds were close above them, or perhaps wings of angels. But as they journeyed on, the littlest camel learned that even precious burdens can become awfully heavy, though he didn't complain. He just followed the shining, silvery star bearing his load, importantly. After many, many miles, it seemed that they were not getting any closer at all, and the littlest camel was, oh, so very tired. As they plodded along, he remembered the palace the big camels had told him about, the great marble palace with the shining golden door. And there, sweet music would be everywhere, and great sparkling jewels. and he would see a king. Finally, they came to Bethlehem. But now the star was shining down upon a stable, a plain, everyday stable, such as the littlest camel had seen many, many times at home. The littlest camel supposed the star knew how very tired he was, and had paused to allow him to rest, for certainly this stable could never belong to a king. The littlest camel was so confused. This was nothing like what Cappy and Mogo had said it would be. He just rested on the soft sand and wearily looked at the beautiful star, and it seemed to comfort him. In the meantime, the wise men unloaded their gifts and carried them through a lowly door. But where was the palace? Where was the king? This was only a very poor stable. But the large camel stood very still, and the littlest camel decided he wouldn't ask them. He tasted the hay. It was not very good, and the straw was all scratchy beneath his feet. Maybe Cappy and Mogo had been fooling him about all these things. What were the wise men doing? He'd just peeked to see. So quietly, carefully, he went forward and looked in the door. There was no king, only a baby, a tiny little baby in a beautiful woman's arms, and shepherds, everyday shepherds as he had seen many times before. There was a donkey, a wee lamb, and a kindly-looking old cow standing near, all quietly, reverently watching. And the littlest camel looked too, and all at once, there was something different about this baby. There appeared a wreath of tiny silver stars that shone softly about the baby's head. The littlest camel felt all glad and tingly inside, and his tiredness was all gone, swept away by the presence of this adorable baby. Then the wise men, kneeling, bent forward to place their gifts at the feet of the mother and child. And one by one, the animals bent their knees in reverence too. The littlest camel was very happy, and as he looked at Cappy and Mogo, they too seemed happier and more friendly. Suddenly, the hay seemed to become very sweet, and the straw as soft as thistledown. He heard the soft rustling of angels' wings, and there was music everywhere. Somehow, the littlest camel knew that this wee baby held for all the world joy, peace, and happiness. And when he saw all the others silently and reverently kneeling, the littlest camel wanted to show his feelings too. He wanted to kneel because he felt all worshipful. Very carefully, he bent his short little legs until he too was kneeling. And Cappy and Mogo, the bigger and biggest camels, were amazed when they saw that the littlest camel was actually kneeling. Ever since that long, long time ago, in that far, far off land, big and little camels have remembered, and to this day kneel in adoration, just as the littlest camel first knelt when he went to see a king.